Hello ladies and gentlemen, and welcome back to the FPL crypto channel. This is the launch of the FPL 6 picks contest for game week 7. The contest is now officially open. You have until the game week deadline of Saturday 20th September at 12:30 GMT to submit your own selections in the comment section here on YouTube or over on Twitter or via our Facebook page. For those of you new here, this is the way we play it. It's a game week by game week contest spread over 6 categories. You choose the highest scoring player in FPL in each of those categories. I will put a link to the how to play rules video down there in the description. You can check it out later just to make sure that you're playing correctly and choosing your players under the correct criteria. There are 2 prizes on offer every game week this season. The first prize is a month's premium subscription to FoomniAnalytics.com and their whole suite and range of tools that you can use for your own team strategies and transfer decisions in FPL. The second prize on offer is activated if you choose your 6 picks and they have a winning score of over 65 FPL points. It's happened in 3 occasions so far this season. I will be giving $10 of Bitcoin to anyone who does that. As always, please subscribe, like, and share if you are enjoying this content. There'll be much more to come throughout the season. Now, let's get to the results of game week 6. We had a clear winner with 60 points. It was a YouTube comment entry. So now the YouTube comment entries are beating the Twitter entries. Twitter handles, let's get on it and match up again. I think it's 4-2 to the YouTubers so far. Over 100 entries again last week, which is great across all the social platforms. I really love the engagement here. JOASH NAIDOO was the winning comment entry on YouTube. A great score of 60 points, and it was catapulted really through the De Bruyne 34 points in his captaincy. Let's see what else he did there. So Aubameyang got his 5 points in the premium category. That could have been a lot more. He's on pens, as you know, and he handed his penalty to Nicolas Pepe. So that could have been a double-digit haul for Aubameyang. A little unfortunate just to have the 5 points. Differential then was Son. He got 5 points. He got an assist. Spurs are in a little bit of a troubling time at the moment, but Son seems to be getting the goals and assists anyway. Eric Peters then got the clean sheet and a bonus point for 7. Timu Pukki, a little disappointing. Norwich are just not really hitting it off away from home. They're great at home, but away from home they're struggling for goals and creating chances. Callum Wilson then in the gut feeling category for JOASH with 7 points, a 95th minute goal to keep that streak of scoring or assisting in every game week so far for Callum Wilson. A real steady FPL asset he is. And then obviously De Bruyne, as we mentioned, with 34 points. So that's a total of 60 points for JOASH NAIDOO. Congratulations, you get your 1 month's premium subscription to FoomniAnalytics.com. Unfortunately, didn't reach the threshold of 65 points for the Bitcoin, but try again next week. Premium pick is the first category. So in this category, you're choosing either a goalkeeper or a defender costing 5.5 million or more, or a midfielder or forwards costing 8 million or more. So premium meaning very expensive players. Usually I do a short list every week of 3 players, and then I go into the 1 pick that I'm going with. This week I'm just going to do a little bit of a shorter video, and I'm going to go straight in and choose my pick. So my pick for the premium category in game week 7 is Trent Alexander-Arnold at 7.1 million, I think, 28.2% ownership. 1 goal, 3 assists for the season is only the tip of the iceberg for Trent. He had 8 goal attempts so far, tied second for defenders. 23 chances created too. That's miles and miles ahead of any other defender in FPL. And 5 of those big chances were big chances created. So I get all these stats from Fantasy Football Scout. It's a great little tool. They have a members subscription only service. Well worth the money spent for this kind of information. I think it's Opta stats used. Sheffield United away next. So despite scoring twice and beating Everton last week, Sheffield United did not pose a huge threat going forward. In fact, their expected goals last week, despite scoring 2 goals, the expected goals was 0.5. Even though they went on to score twice, it didn't cause a huge amount of trouble to the opposite opponent's net. Trent is the worthy selection for premium pick this week, in my opinion. Looking at the differential pick now. So this is choosing a player who has under 10% team selected by. Official ownership has to be under 10% at time of entry. Heung-min Son is 9.7 million and he's still only owned by 8.6% of managers. More so to the fact that he didn't start the season as he had a suspension, but now he is coming to fruition really quickly. Spurs are kind of in a mini crisis right now. They've only got 2 wins in all competitions this season. Knocked out of the Carabao Cup 2 midweek and penalties to Colchester following defeat against Leicester in last game week. But Son has been their shining light in the last 2 games and still bolsters a relatively low ownership, as I said, 8.6%. For what he offers, it's still quite a relatively low ownership. And in that game versus Leicester, he was Spurs' most advanced player in terms of his average position. He was higher up the field, for example, than Harry Kane. And as we know, he's an out-of-position classified midfielder in FPL, even though he plays up front, really. So you get that extra point for a clean sheet and a goal. And I would think Spurs will be looking to prove themselves big time at home to Southampton. Pochettino under a tiny little bit of pressure too. And Son has 2 goals and 2 assists in his last 3 games. So I think he is the best option for Spurs for the weekend, and he is my differential pick. So let's take a look at the budget defense pick. Goalkeeper less than 5.5 million or a defender less than 5.5 million. My pick for this game week is Ben Chilwell, 5.4 million, so he just sneaks into the budget category for the 6 picks. His ownership is 4%. Not much to show for the defender other than the assist, but he's got 1 assist this season, that's what I meant to say. But he was injured for game week 2 and game week 3. So if you look back at last season, he had 5 assists for the season. And it's more to do with Leicester's fixtures. They're looking really favourable right up until game week 17. He might be an alternative option to go for, a little bit under the radar. Go with him if as a substitute for the more expensive Pereira at 6 million. Or obviously the cheaper option is Soyuncu, less of an attacking threat, but he is definitely there too. I'm going to have a little punt with Ben Chilwell this week as the budget defense pick. He is my game week 7 pick. Okay, moving on to budget offense pick. In this category, you're choosing a midfielder or a forward costing less than 8 million in FPL. Tammy Abraham, 7.4 million, ownership at 31%. Tammy is becoming an FPL legend. He really is, and he's now the first choice striker at Chelsea in the Premier League. No fears of a rotation. That was kind of the forefront of everyone's minds going into the season. You had 3 striker options in Batshuayi, Giroud, and Abraham. Abraham is now the guy for the Premier League. Frank seems to trust him, and rightly so. He's morphing into this. Chelsea themselves are morphing into this really exciting young attacking team. With the likes of Mount, Pulisic, then you have like Callum Hudson-Odoi and Loftus-Cheek to come back too. So the fixtures look fantastic for Chelsea. Abraham has already got 3 double-digit hauls this season. He is the standout budget option, and he is my budget offense pick for game week 7. Gut feeling pick now. So in this category, you can choose any player you want in the game. Think outside the box, go for some wild picks, try something a little bit different. I like to see like really varied choices in this category when I see the entries come in. This week, don't laugh, I'm going to go with Raul Jimenez. Bear with me on this one. He's 7.3 million. I know he's expensive for a Wolves player. He's 10.3% ownership. This category is a gut feeling pick. Would I be considering Jimenez to put into my actual team on a wild card or on a transfer? No, definitely not. Not with Wolves' current form and Europa League balancing act. If I was using the free hit chip this week, I would definitely throw him in there. Purely because Watford are just terrible at the moment. They shipped 8 goals against Man City last week. And Jimenez is the focal point of all of Wolves' attacks. He was rested midweek in the Carabao Cup 2. He had 23 goal contributions last season. Let's not forget that. It was his breakthrough season in FPL for Wolves, and he really impressed. This is a friendly reminder, folks, not to forget about Raul Jimenez. He is my gut feeling pick for game week 7. Okay, on to the captaincy choice. In this category, you can choose any player in the game. I'll just reiterate, you can only choose 1 pick per club team. Obviously, you score double points for captaincy, the same as in FPL. I am going to go for Raheem Sterling. Going against the grain in a couple of picks this week. Sterling, again, he's 12.1 million. He's not cheap, obviously. 40% ownership too, so he's still a popular pick. The captain's pick this week has been sold by about 270,000 managers. He didn't even play in game week 6. We all know he was benched by Pep then. And then he blanked in game week 5 and 4 also. So that was like, I think he dropped in price by 0.2 million in this time frame. I'm going to use the term brandished around in FPL a lot for a long time now. Raheem Sterling is due. He's due some FPL points and a mega haul, and he has his rest now, so the chances of rotation are very, very unlikely. This shouldn't be a worry this weekend. Anyway, he is my captain. He is my captain's choice. I'm going to go for him again. So many captaincy options this week, let's be honest. I expect the likes of Aguero, KDB, Salah, Mane, Kane, even Aubameyang against a weak United team. Tammy Abraham then, he's coming into the picture as a really good captaincy contender. All these players, the list is extensive really. It may be a good week for a captaincy punt, going for a more differential, less popular option because you may not get punished as much since the polls are showing that it's spread out quite evenly for who people favour. I think Salah might edge it for a lot. For me, I'm going to kind of put my trust in Sterling again. It is a prime opportunity to benefit from like a Sterling haul this week too. Many FPL managers' eyes are drawn elsewhere because of the fact that he didn't play last week. So I'm going to try and take advantage of that one. That's pretty much it for me for this game week. A little bit of a shorter 6 picks video this week. Doesn't mean any different. The content is now open. You can enter through the comment section here on Twitter or on the Facebook page. Here's a summary of my picks then. So I'll leave you with this. I wish you all good luck. Get thinking about your captaincy choice, especially. It is the most important pick, as JOASH NAIDOO's winning score proved last week. 34 points. Over half his score came from his captain. So really important as always. Take care, guys, and I'll catch you all next week.